Hello, everybody. Heather Hammerstedt from Holist here doing a daily training for you. Today I decided to get a little bit nerdy. Um, those of you who know me or who in the coaching program already know this is kind of my style, but I've been having so many people reach out to me like wanting to change, but the questions that they're asking me sort of make me wonder if they're in the right frame of mind for making a kind of consistent health behavior change. And so today I'm going to share a little bit of the information I have in my lifestyle medicine course for physicians, teaching about this stuff. So again, I'm Heather Hammerstedt, emergency medicine, lifestyle medicine, and integrative health nutrition coach. And I run Holist, where we help people figure out how their brains and their bodies work around food. And to really figure out, how they can make sustainable change in terms of food mindset around food and their waistline. Okay, so if you're watching this live, please drop me a live. So Facebook kicks us up for other people to learn from. Give me a couple loves. If you're watching on replay, tell me replay. Okay, health behavior change therapy and why we should care. Okay. How many times have you yourself committed to change and then not followed through? Or had family members who desperately needed to make lifestyle changes and know it, but they don't? Or if you're one of the lots of doctors watching that you have that patient that just keeps coming back over and over again without the changes that they know that they need and you know they need, and they keep coming back for the same disease. Or maybe you're the one who's doing this. So why is that? Like, if we theoretically know what we should be doing, why aren't we doing it? So let's dig in a little bit about health behavior change theory. And I'm not going to lie, I might be a little dry. Like when I first started reading all this, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to skip ahead and get to all the sexy lifestyle medicine stuff about disease reversal and food and weight. But I realized that this is like really, really essential stuff. To really be able to underline the real reasons why your patients are unable to hear you, or you're unable to hear yourself, or your family member is unable to hear what they're supposed to be doing. So, okay, so there are two health behavior change models that I'm going to cover here briefly, and then I'm going to dig in a little bit on the one that I find the most useful and applicable to me and to how I practice medicine and how I coach. So the first model is one that's helpful just to kind of think about how we can predict people's behaviors and failing to adopt lifestyle change. So this isn't like how they're adopting lifestyle changes, it's why they don't, right? Or why they don't even think about it. So this is called the health belief model. And that's what I have shared on the screen here. The basic summary is that a person must first believe that there is a threat to his or her health that's serious enough to pay attention to, and a belief that he has the capacity to follow a path to avoid the threat. Okay, so there's 6 constructs to the model. I'm going to show you a way that you can intervene on each one of them and kind of help push them over that. Okay, so the first is called perceived susceptibility, which is basically the understanding that I could be susceptible to a health threat. You know, some of the politics we've been seeing going on right now, I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Basically, this is like a superhero spotlight, right? Like the teenager spotlight. It's not applicable to me. I'll never get diabetes or COVID or have a heart attack. Some of this is mitigated by time and circumstance, right? Like when I hit 40, I was like, oh yeah, I get it. I start to realize my own vulnerability as we age and around those around us suffer from things, and we become more attuned to it. It's also coachable, right? Showing someone that they're susceptible, age, weight, risk factors, example, whatever pertinent to that person, can make it more clear that susceptibility is intrinsic to them. And so, so that's what that one is. So I think you can think about this one in terms of like talking to your teenagers or talking to your parents who aren't social distancing, in terms of being able to show them why they would be at risk. So we know that for COVID specifically, people who have hypertension and who are overweight, and are more, and who are elderly and have pulmonary problems, those are kind of the highest risk. So pointing that out to someone. So the next one that we're going to talk about is perceived severity, the how bad could this really be? So if you don't know that diabetes can leave you with no feet, blind, and on dialysis, They may not care that their hemoglobin A1C is a little high, right? So education is key to mitigate this. So what is the disease? How bad can it be? What's the natural course of it? So now they can understand, or you can understand, that you could be susceptible to it, how bad it could be, and why you should care, right? There's another one called perceived benefit. Is this change that's going to make any difference? So if I'm going to do something, is it going to actually help me, or am I just wasting my time, right? This is where we can share success stories with people to show why you're recommending the things that you are and that they'll work, right? So this is why we do testimonials for Holist, right? This is why we show people that people are having great success. Means that yes, you're going to sacrifice and do hard work, but that you are going to get a great result of it. So it's showing what other people have managed to do, or that the evidence behind it that can happen, right? So last two, perceived barriers. How terrible is this going to be for me, right? Like, plant-based, are you kidding me? Or going to the gym, that's for meatheads, right? So here we can mitigate this by giving examples on how good food can be, even though it's mostly plants, recipes to try. Let them mean that it doesn't, let them know that it doesn't mean they have to be vegetarian. It's just they have to eat mostly plants and just occasional meat, maybe if that's easier, or explore ways that exercise could be enjoyable for them, finding things that they like to do and move their body. Those are perceived barriers. It's why, in the constructs of this kind of behavior theory, are these like cues to actions, right? So like, are there events that you can point out that trigger someone to finally be ready for change, right? Like sometimes seeing a family member be overweight and getting COVID or having that heart attack is enough for you to be like, oh shit, I should probably do something, right? So a friend is diagnosed with an illness, an event personally, the realization you can chase your kids around without getting exhausted, those kind of events can help with those barriers. The last one is self-efficacy. So this is basically the combination of self-confidence and self-motivation that equals self-efficacy. So basically, like, I believe I can do this, right? So if someone lacks self-confidence in something, we can guide them to that by providing them the tools and support, even if that's in the form of a referral, right? But if someone lacks self-motivation, now that's something we can help with by connecting the health behavior to something they value, right? So that they have intrinsic self-motivation. So the perceived susceptibility, it's not going to happen to me. We can show them why it might. Perceived severity, how bad could that really be? This is how bad it could really be. Perceived benefit, is it going to make any difference? This is how we're going to make a difference, right? Perceived barriers, I'm going to be able to do that. You can show them how they can. Cues to actions, really using that event. And then again, self-efficacy, really tying that health behavior change to something that is personally valuable to them. And that is something that is going to be different for everybody. So, okay, let me change my page here because I want to show you a different screen. Okay, can you see this? Yes, okay. So this is the second model, and the one that I think is a little bit more applicable. So basically, this is called the trans-theoretical model of the stages of change, right? I'm going to talk about them each, and then I'm going to mention a little bit about kind of how you would use this when you're talking to a friend that you know needs to lose weight, when you're talking to yourself, when you want to start moving and eating better and prevent all the metabolic diseases that we know are coming. Okay, the pre-contemplative stage, can you see this? So basically what I have people do is I have them write down here, like, what's important and how confident am I? Remember that this is the self-efficacy, that I will be able to do this, right? And then they put it on this graph for me here, and they end up in one of these stages I'm going to talk about. And then that's how I decide how we coach them and how we talk to them, right? So if someone's in a pre-contemplative stage, you're going to talk to them totally differently than if they're in action stage, okay? So pre-contemplative stage, this is the, like, I don't even have it on my radar that there is a problem stage. No awareness of problem behavior. They aren't planning any sort of change. You can think about this when it comes to exercise or food, or maybe it sticks in your head a little bit more if you know someone who has trouble with alcohol. So contemplation, this is the, I could see there was a problem, but they're a little bit ambivalent about change and could consider maybe the change in 6 months. The preparation stage. So this is the stage where, like, she's aware that she needs to make the change and she's like thinking about it maybe in the next 30 days, but isn't really in a place where like, yes, we can move. So that's where action is, like making the change. I'm doing it. We're doing it actively. It's implementing whatever it is. It's making the decision to get on the phone with us, right? Whether it's implementing the plant-based diet, whether it's more exercise, whether it's mindfulness, meditation, mindset work, whatever it is, they're actually doing it, making a decision. Okay. So they end up here in this, I'm 9 out of 10 confident I can do this. I'm 8 out of 10 of importance, right? That's where you end up in this box up here. And then maintenance. This is the I've done it, right? I've already lost the 50 pounds. The wholest way of life is for me, and we're going to make it happen. Okay. So I'm just consistently implementing the change for longer than 6 months. It's an ingrained habit. It's integrated into their health plan, into their life. So I hope this is helpful, guys. I'm so glad so many of you joined me. Again, if you could drop a live if you're watching live and a replay if you're watching on a replay, and give me a couple of loves and likes so we can bump this up for other people to see. If this stuff sounds interesting to you and you're a physician, I have an 8-week online self-directed lifestyle medicine course for physicians so that you can help talk to your patients regardless of what you do, to help them, whether you're anesthesia, you still have 2 minutes. I'm emergency medicine. If I can find 2 minutes to talk to someone in the right way, you can too. If you're not a physician and you are interested in this kind of stuff, you're probably going to be one of those people that would really thrive in our Wholis Weight Wellness program. We do tons of education. It's basically a university level course on mindset around food and how your brain and body works with food, figuring out what, when, and why of eating so that you can stop yo-yo dieting for the decades ahead of you that you've done for the decades behind you. The way that I think about it is this, is if in 1 year from now, I know exactly how I'm going to feel if I have done all the things that I wanted to do and feel that feeling, and then realize that that means I have to start now. Or even realizing that if I would have done all this a year ago, how I would be doing right now, right? Don't wait another day. Move yourself into the action stage. If you want to hop on a call with one of our strategy coaches and talk about what's up with you and what you need, and figure out if we're it, or if one of our colleagues or other coaching programs that we're associated with, we are happy to move people along to other people as well. If you want to hop on that free strategy call, you just drop the word action here into the comments and we will be right to you. Okay. Cheers, guys. I'm a little bit late to another meeting, so I'm going to go. Bye.